Hey guys, it's Chase here. So for a while now, I've made it very clear that I love dualies in this game. In fact, my three main weapons are all dualies. But if you've been watching my videos for a while, you also know that I don't hold back when discussing the negative attributes of dualies. In fact, I'm gonna tell you right now, the entire dualie class is in a pretty rough spot right now. Well, almost the entire class. There is one dualie that's extremely good, being the dualie squelchers, but this weapon functions so differently from every other dualie that I kind of put it in a weapon class of its own. Some of you may already be aware that dualies aren't the best right now, but I know that there's a decent amount of my viewers who don't know why I'm saying that. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Once and for all, I'm going to put a clear answer out there for why dualies struggle so much in Splatoon 2. Oh, and one more thing before we get started. If you use dualies in this game, that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to tell you to stop using your weapon. In fact, keep using them because it makes me happy seeing other people specializing in dualies as well. But at the same time, I do think that it's important to know all of the weaknesses of your weapon so that you can try your best to play around them and maximize your playstyle. Alright, so let's get into it. So some of you might know that dualies actually used to be really good in this game. In fact, at one point, splat dualies were arguably the best weapon in Splatoon 2. So what the heck happened? 3 words: main power up. To be more specific, I'm talking about weapons that receive a damage increase from main power up. The worst culprits being the Splattershot Pro, dualie squelchers, and the dualie player's worst nightmare, the bamboozler. I'm sure most of you watching already know this, but just to give a quick rundown, what main power-up allows these weapons to do is essentially deal enough damage per shot that they have a chance to kill with 1 less hit than it would normally take them. In other words, the dualie squelchers have a chance of killing with 3 shots instead of 4. The Splattershot Pro has a chance of killing with 2 shots instead of 3. And the bamboozler has a chance of killing with 1 shot. You get the point. So I keep saying that they have a chance of getting an early kill, but just what exactly is the likelihood of this? To see, let's get into some super specific details for how damage is calculated in this game. For every second that you're touching enemy ink, you take 18 points of damage. So this means that for every frame that you touch enemy ink, you take 0.3 damage. With this knowledge, let's head to the training room so we can test some things out. Alright guys, so here I am with the Splattershot Pro in the testing room, and I'm running an all main power up gear build, as you can see right here. So let's slowly fire at this dummy and see where 2 shots gets us. So 1 and 2. Okay, so wow, 2 shots already gets us to 99.8 damage. And if you recall what I said earlier, you take 0.3 damage from just being in enemy ink for 1 frame. So you're seeing why this is dumb now, right? You just need to slightly dip your foot into enemy ink, and one of these MPU damage up weapons is going to kill you 1 shot faster than they normally would. So this is just really poor game design in my opinion, but that's a discussion for another day. But let's get back to the main point here. So why does any of this matter? Why does this affect dualies so much? Well, dualies are the weapon class that's the most prone to taking small amounts of damage from touching enemy ink. I mean, just think about it. You're constantly rolling around when you're fighting someone. When you're dodge rolling and you're also being shot at, touching enemy ink for at least 1 frame is kind of inevitable. Now, there is one thing that you're probably thinking right now. Why not just run ink resistance? So you can do this, however, it's not as simple as just throwing on 1 sub of ink res and then all your problems are going to be solved. Running 1 sub theoretically can prevent you from getting killed early by these MPU weapons, but the chance of this actually working is extremely low. Trust me, from my 3,000 hours in this game, I can confidently say that 1 sub of ink res rarely helps with this. Now, the competitive Splatoon community did discover that running 1 main and 1 sub of ink resistance does have a decent chance of preventing you from getting pseudo-killed by these MPU weapons. But at that point, you're dedicating such a large chunk of your gear space that it's kind of not even worth it. There are other gear abilities that dualies need a bit more in my opinion, such as quick respawn. But if you really wanted to, you could run the main and a sub of ink res. Again though, running this doesn't even guarantee that you'll be immune from getting pseudo-killed. And honestly, chances are, you're probably gonna die regardless, which leads me into my next point. The meta is currently very midline oriented, meaning that a lot of weapons that are common right now have a lot of range. Splat Dualies, Dapple Dualies, and Tetra Dualies all struggle mightily against weapons with range. And I'm not just talking about those MPU weapons I listed earlier. Yes, those weapons with their range and increased damage are extremely good against Dualies, but even other ranged weapons that don't get this damage up effect are still extremely good against Dualies. Some good examples of this are the Nautilus and Chargers. Your dodge rolls don't matter, you're still going to get outranged and end up dying. So there you have it, guys. Those are the main reasons why Dualies are a bit hard to use right now. Again, just want to reiterate, this video is mainly referring to Splat Dualies, Dapple Dualies, and Tetra Dualies. Glooga Dualies do still suffer from the same problems that I talked about, but they're a bit better since they can actually deal with weapons that have range. And Dualie Squelchers, I mean, well, I explained that in the beginning. That's one of the best weapons in the game right now. But again, it's so different from every other dualie that I don't even consider it to be a dualie anymore. But hey, that's just my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. If anyone has any further questions about anything that I discussed in this video, feel free to ask it in the comments. I always read them and I always respond to questions. So yeah, don't hesitate. And with that being said, I'll see you all next time.